Welcome to a new episode of the Witching Hour. This is the second episode. We're going to be doing a live stream every Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. These episodes are designed for people to call in and share their paranormal experiences so that the world, or at least our group here, has a community sense of being able to share with each other and maybe even get some support through these call-ins. If you'd like to participate, the phone number to call is 253-300-1839. Once again, if you'd like to call in and participate live, 253-300-1839. And I'll be taking calls throughout the night. If anybody'd like to call and share their paranormal experience, I will gladly take your call. If anybody's out there watching, feel free to comment, leave questions, remarks, anything you'd like. Also, if anybody could let me know if you can hear me. Hopefully everybody can. My name is Hector, the Energy Healer. I specialize in energy healing through the removal of demonic entities. This may seem kind of strange to some people. It may be kind of a stretch, for people to conceive. But underlying most conditions is a demonic interference. And when I say demonic, what do I mean by demonic? Basically, these are energies that exist beyond our physical perception. We are limited by our eyes, hands, touch, feel, by our senses. We are limited to those five senses to be able to perceive things. These energies exist outside of our five senses. These are beings that exist in the etheric realm. There are all sorts of beings in this etheric realm, this energy dimension. Some of which are benevolent, and others, I would classify them as malignant. Now, as far as energy healing goes, the point of removing these energies that are attached to the person is to simply allow the person to heal themselves. The body wants to naturally maintain a level of health. The body is constantly striving for a level of health. And these interferences seem to be draining energy from people. Throughout my work, I've come to understand that apart from energy, there isn't really anything of value in this etheric dimension. It's an energy dimension. Everything is energy. As Nikola Tesla once said, if you would like to understand the mysteries of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. These energy dimensions, there's no physical exchange of goods. There's only exchange of energy. There's exchange of contracts, agreements, but there's no physical thing of value. So in order for these entities or energies to exist, they must consume energy, they must exchange energy, they must acquire energy. And what is the best source of energy for them? Unfortunately, it is the human race. And this information that I'm telling you now is information that has been spoken of for a very long time. There are many books written about this topic, and there's much research that has been done. It has been done through quantum physics, has been done through there's psychologists who specialize in the etheric, you could say. There's a good channel on YouTube called The Age of Truth. The Age of Truth has many hundreds, maybe even thousands of interviews of very knowledgeable authors, scientists, conspiracy theorists, if you'd like to call them that. There's a wide range of information that's out there. And that's just one channel. There's many other very prominent channels out there that will give you information if that is what you seek. Coming back to the topic of demons. A demon is simply an energy being that cannot generate their own light. That capacity of generating their own light has been stripped away from them. Excuse me. And I say this because if they were able to generate their own light, they wouldn't be plaguing humanity and exploiting humanity. They have become, in a sense, parasites to all of us. We may not know it. We may not feel it. You know, some of these beings are not very strong, you could say. They simply are able to manipulate your emotions, you know, slightly here and there. They're able to manipulate your interactions with people slightly here and there. They're able to get you to generate that negative energy that they so desire by manipulating your thoughts, by slightly manipulating your perception, by messing with your emotions, by messing with your environment, things around you. For example, I've had, you know, several clients who have come to me because they feel like they are in a loop of not being able to succeed in their endeavors. And this is also a common theme, a common reoccurring pattern that I see in people. Once again, welcome anybody that is out there watching. This is the Witching Hour, every Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll be going live, a live stream. For anybody that like to call in and share their paranormal experiences, this will be a reoccurring thing. This is the second episode of a series of live streams that I'll be doing. If you would like to participate, this week's phone number is 253-300-1839. 253-300-1839. And if you'd like to call in, that number's for within the U.S. If you'd like to call in from another part of the world, next week I will have the capacity to take calls through Messenger, and then that way you guys can call in from all over the world. My goal is to have a safe environment for people to share their paranormal experiences, to be able to get feedback, and mainly just to share, you know. And you don't have to give out your real name if you don't want to. You can remain anonymous. So have no worry about that. I won't divulge any of your information if I have any. Going back to what I was saying about demons, and before I continue, I'd like to just let you know that as we wait for people to call in, as we wait for people to participate in these live... Freddie, good to see you, Freddie. Thanks for joining. As we wait for people to participate, might be a few sessions into it before people start, participating in the calls. I'm sure that eventually we'll have some really good phone calls and really good interviews, I guess you could call them. But going back to the topic of demons. Demons are simply dark energies, beings that have lost their capacity to generate their own light. As opposed to human beings, we human beings generate our own light. We are light beings, not in the physical sense, but in the spiritual sense. We have multiple bodies, one of which is the physical body, but we also have energy bodies. I've been studying this for a few years now, and like I said, there are many researchers that have come to the same conclusion, that we as human beings generate our own light, that we have that creator ability within us. And I say creator ability because we do create with our thoughts. We initiate creation at the physical level simply by thinking about it. Some people may call it the law of attraction. But all we are doing is we are manifesting. Everything manifests from the energy realm to the physical in a very slow manner sometimes, depending on the person. Some people can manifest things faster. Others can manifest things a little bit slower. But nonetheless, we are creators in essence. And we create because we have that divine energy, that divine light that we emanate at the energy level. So these demonic entities, they like to take advantage of that because we are not aware of our divinity. We are not aware that we are light beings. We are, in a sense, asleep. We're asleep to our reality. We are asleep. And the system has played a role in this amnesia that we experience. The system has been designed in a way to keep us in a sort of bondage, in a form of slavery. Because if we do not know who we are, we can remain in this perpetual system of production and consumption, a never-ending cycle of paying bills, paying rent, paying, generating products, generating money for the people who are aware of what is going on, the people that want to control the trajectory, the direction of humanity. And I'm sad to say, but I've come to the conclusion that the system that we live in, the system that we were born in, the system that our parents were born in, our grandparents and our great-grandparents were born into, is satanic in nature. Now, this may be controversial for people to understand, but what do I mean by satanic in nature? Well, the Bible mentions, I'm not a big theologian. I am not religious in any sense. The Bible does mention that the prince of this earth is Satan. I don't recall the specific location in the Bible, but I can look it up at a later time. And the thing is that what it means is that Satan has taken a hold of the system that we live in. And who is Satan, or what is Satan? Satan is, to me, what I've come to understand is that Satan is a way of thinking. It's more of a paradigm. It's a screen. It's a form of perception. So the trajectory that they are following, when I say a satanic government system that we live in, is that they want to stay away. They want to push us away from natural. They want to push us away from divinity. They want to push us away from organic. They want to separate us from what we are. And to give you just a brief example of what I mean, if you think about it, everything has been moving towards a synthetic, towards a genetically modified, towards an artificial way of life. Whether it be food, whether it be entertainment, whether it be our daily life, our technology, our homes. Everything is getting pushed against nature, anti-nature. So in a sense, what I've come to understand is that this system, this satanic system that we were born into, is pushing us away from nature, natural. They want us to be transhuman. That's one of their ultimate goals, is to push the transhumanism agenda, to have us merge, to genetically modify the human being and have us merge with technology, so that we are no longer organic in nature. We are no longer natural human beings. We are hybrids with technology. Another example is food. You know, our ancestors grew up eating things from the ground. You know, fresh vegetables, things that they would find, forage for, things that grew in nature, things that were actually good for us, that would nourish us. You know, and now everything seems to come in a package with all sorts of chemicals that some of them I can't even pronounce. It's become a real nuisance, a real problem, to be able to try to eat more healthy, try to stay away from all these chemicals. It's almost impossible. They're in our water, they're in our food, they're in vegetables. You know, when you think you're eating healthy, you're really consuming glyphosate, a pesticide that is so common that 80 or 90% of the vegetables that you consume contain glyphosate. This glyphosate has been shown to, you know, cause a variety of problems. You know, I don't want to mention too much because, you know, then they'll ban my my video. But we are really at a war between natural and anti-natural. And I believe that what this satanic agenda is trying to do is basically trying to invert natural, you know, trying to turn everything on its head. And the people that are not prepared, the people that are sucked into the system, the people that don't have the time to think about these things, that don't have the time to read the books or listen to, you know, to the different perspectives that are out there, they just have to go along with the narrative operating like that at the physical level. But it operates the same in the energy world. As above, so below. So the energy dimension is operating in a very similar way, where it uses coercion, it uses manipulation, it uses technologies that are they are etheric technologies to not only harness the human power, extract. I've come into situations where I've had to remove technologies from women's reproductive organs at the etheric level, and this is mind blowing, because this sounds like out of science fiction, it's science fiction stuff, but this is all coming from my clients, the people that I work with. They are not. Some of them are not into any science, sci-fi films or anything like that. They are normal people going about their lives, trying to, do what they need to do. And all this information, this fantastic information, amazing information, just starts coming out from them. I use a technique where I can guide them to connect directly to this energy dimension, and they're able to visualize, using their third eye, to visualize this energy realm. They're able to visualize their energy body. They're able to visualize, to see if there are any etheric technologies that are implanted anywhere in their body. And as I was mentioning earlier, I've come to situations where women have technology, this demonic and etheric technology in their reproductive organs, and they are harvesting ovums, female, the eggs that come from the ovaries. So this extraction of ovums at the energy dimension has an effect at the physical level. So the body senses, the organs, the cells, they sense this energy extraction. And what they do is they try to build a callus or a protection at the physical level, because they feel that something is being taken. And this will develop into polycystic ovarian cysts. I don't know if I said that right. PCOS. It will develop into other forms of other issues for women. And this is not, don't take this as medical advice. This is not medical advice. I am not a doctor. I am simply an energy healer. And so I've helped people with this type of condition, this type of issue, where doctors are unable to help because they don't see anything wrong at the physical level. But ultimately, it's below the physical level where this energy extraction is happening, and it's just what is manifesting in the body is symptoms like pain, like anxiety, like depression. Right now, I'm trying to work with people who have schizophrenia. I've read some information about how there is a doctor, a very well-known psychologist, who is bringing that knowledge of psychology into the etheric realm and vice versa, and is basically discovering what I've already kind of had an idea that it was the case, basically discovering that people who suffer from schizophrenia might be actually channeling these voices, or opening up their mind to these beings that torture them and say horrible things to them and constantly plague them. And so he has helped heal, and I don't remember the name of this doctor at the top of my head, but I'll put a link to the video and the description of the doctor on the comments once I'm done with this live broadcast. But this to me is just absolutely amazing, because I studied psychology at the university level for many years. I've studied abnormal psychology. I studied neuroscience. So I'm very science oriented, and merging the etheric, the energy, the spiritual with actual science to me is very exciting. And I hope to be part of this this movement here in the next few years, make a difference in people's lives, and make breakthrough discoveries, and hopefully hopefully. And so going back to demons, they can take many forms, limitless number of morphologies that they can take. They can even shapeshift. They can take forms of loved ones. They can take forms of angels. They can take forms of gods and goddesses. And people can connect with these beings in their dream state while they're simply relaxed, meditating. But they don't have the information or the techniques and the tools to be able to determine whether these beings that they're contacting with are actual light beings or if they are demonic in nature, because they are able to shapeshift. They are able to disguise themselves as benevolent beings. And so that's where I have gained some traction in my field, is where I am able to help them distinguish by breaking it down step by step to determine whether these beings are draining the person's life energy. And I would say about 99% of them, maybe a little bit less, are there to consume human energy. Because, and I say it's such a high percentage, because spirits who are benevolent do not linger around. They don't stay around. They might come and visit. You know, they might do a quick visit to check up on relatives, to check up on children and things like that. But you know, their children. But they don't stay around. They visit and then they leave, and they keep their distance, and they respect their boundaries. And so from time to time I'll come across a situation where a person has a feeling that a loved one that has passed is there all the time. And that can also happen. But in order for that loved one to remain there in that physical environment, that physical realm with that person, it takes energy. It takes energy, and sometimes they don't fully know their own capability. They don't know their own divinity. These spirits don't, and so they begin to drain the family members' energy. Then you have the demons that are able to manifest movement. This is known as poltergeist. Poltergeist is serious stuff. It's serious stuff because I think to me it's one of the scariest things, because if they're able to move really heavy objects and they are malignant in nature, what makes you think that they cannot hurt the human being? And it's a very good possibility that they can. So that to me is a very serious situation that definitely needs to be addressed. If you have a poltergeist in your home, definitely needs to be looked at. And one of the things that I have worked with in the past is just that, poltergeist, and very successful at removing entities and demonic beings and whatever type of energy may be in your home. Sometimes these entities are created. They're created by the negative energies in the home, or they were created by previous tenants that lived in the home. So we have the capacity of creating more than we can imagine. So we are creators by nature. And one of the energies that allows us to co-create is the sexual energy. Sexual energy is a very powerful energy, so powerful that when two people come together, they're able to bring life, bring another soul, bring another being into existence. And so these entities, they know that human sexual energy is very powerful, and then you start having all sorts of demons that specialize in extracting this energy. These are the succubuses and incubuses and all sorts of demons that have been recorded throughout history that have plagued humanity during their sleeping hours. This is where you develop some form of sleep paralysis. You can't move. I've had this happen to me. You can't move. You're paralyzed, but you're conscious. You're aware of what's going on. You're actually a little bit in between the energy dimension and the physical dimension. And this ability to be in both of these dimensions is actually what allows you to perceive things that may not be there in the physical room, but you can feel them, you can sense them, you can hear them. That's because you're in both the energy dimension and the physical dimension, while you're in that delta pattern, wavelength pattern, when you are falling asleep. Psychologists call these sleep paralysis hypnagogic hallucinations. That's because they don't know really. They just came up with a term to try and say, oh yeah, it's normal. It's a hallucination. Don't worry about it. And like I said, I studied psychology at the university in Texas for many years, and before that at a community college for many years as well. Let's see, how are we doing? Anybody that'd like to call in and share any paranormal experience, please feel free to do so. The number to call here in the U.S. is 253-300-1839. Once again, that number is 253-300-1839. This is the Witching Hour, every Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll be opening up the lines for people to call and share their paranormal experiences, whatever those might be. I'm hoping people will call in about Bigfoot. I'm hoping people will call in about UFO experiences. Hopefully even maybe an abduction. I would like to hear about that. Poltergeist, exorcisms, demonic possessions, things of that nature. And we'll be doing this every Friday, like I said, every Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Feel free to share this video on your timeline if you'd like, or wherever, with your friends, family. I specialize in energy healing through the removal of demonic entities in the person's energy field. This is something that I have been working on for a few years now, and there's so much to be learned, there's so much to be experienced, that there's just infinite amount of information that can be done. This is also related to out-of-body experiences. It's related to remote viewing, astral projections. So we as human beings have the capacity to connect to these other dimensions. We just don't know it. We've never been taught that we are multidimensional beings. This is information that has been suppressed through the ages by our governing systems, by the control system, by the matrix. They don't want us to realize that we have infinite potential, infinite capacity to connect through space and time, because time and space do not exist in this energy dimension. The past, the present, the future, it's all now. It's all existing in the now. It's a convergence. It's sort of the way that I see it, it's like an energy prism, like a crystal, like a prism. You have energy that goes into the prism, and then you have a rainbow effect coming out of the other side. In essence, that's how time works. Excuse me. That's how time works. You have one past, which once it converges in the moment, in the now, it splits into infinite possibilities, infinite timelines that could take place. And during these sessions that I guide people into, they're able to tap into different timelines. They're able to see themselves in the future. They're able to see their future events. Doesn't necessarily mean that they will live through that event. It just means that it's a possibility. It's one of the many possibilities that exist. But we are able to go back and revisit past events, past traumas, past lifetimes. And this is all interconnected with this energy extraction. Because what happens during a traumatic event is that the person lowers their shield, their natural shield, which is the aura. The aura becomes weakened. And at that very moment, other energies can take advantage of that. They can penetrate the aura and connect to the person. And this happens all the time. It happens especially during traumatic events, during events where your emotions are very low. Fear, anger, sadness, all sorts of negative emotions. These emotions will actually lower your natural protection against these beings that exist in the energy dimension. Some of us aren't really affected by them because we are sort of naturally positive people, but other people are more sensitive to them. Other people can sense when their energy is being taken from them, and they are more susceptible because of their beliefs, because of their lack of understanding of their true power. And that's very important. That's one of the things that I try to teach people, is their true power. Their true power is infinite. You are an infinite creator. You just don't know it. You just don't know it. But once again, this group is this live stream is designed for people to call in and share their experiences. 253-300-1839 is this week's phone number. If you'd like to call or text, I can receive both calls and texts. And then next week, hopefully, I'll have the Messenger app, so you'll be able to call in through that if you are outside of the U.S. Demons, they're everywhere. Some of them are in our very own system of control. This control matrix is by design. There is nothing that happens by chance. Everything is planned out. They have a timeline, they have a methodology, they have a protocol. They've had a protocol for thousands of years. And how, you may ask, how are they able to get this matrix created and everything so well controlled that people don't even know that they are in this matrix of control? Well, this information, I believe, has been channeled it's very well known that there are secret societies that the elite and the higher ups are part of. One of which is the Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones is a secret brotherhood that all the presidents are a part of. There's also Masonic lodges and Masonic rituals and Masonic events that take place that we are, as common people, aren't aware of, or at least I'm not. Excuse me. And so these secret societies, I know, perform rituals, sacrifices, and all sorts of unimaginable things to be able to connect with these demonic entities, to be able to gain information, gain tactics, gain knowledge, wisdom of how to manipulate, how to control the masses. And this is all done under the secrecy of darkness. They don't want this information to get out. They don't want you to know that you too are able to channel these beings and see what they're doing at the energy level. See what these, what the truth really is. They don't want you to know. They want to keep you busy, working, trying to pay off your mortgage, trying to pay off your rent, trying to pay off your bills, trying to pay off, and it's the biggest scam humanity has ever seen, and it's a repeating pattern through the ages. It's just repeating over and over again, keeping people so busy, so preoccupied with acquiring wealth, with acquiring money, that people don't really have the opportunity or the time or the drive or the energy to look inward and see who they truly are. We are divinity. We are creators. We have infinite potential, infinite capacity. You can change your life in a moment's, in a second of your life. In a decision, one decision can change your life for the worst or for the best. And so we just have to awaken to who we truly are, and meditate inwards to connect with our spirit guides, to connect with our higher selves. We all have a higher self. We all have a guide, like an internal compass that is there to guide us down the best path possible for us. Some people are so well in tune with their higher self. I also like to call the higher self intuition. The higher self gives you that intuitive compass, that gut feeling that tells you, hey, don't do that, or go here, or don't do this other thing, because your intuition is able to connect into the future timelines, is able to perceive future events, is able to warn you in advance. That's where premonitions come from. That's why people, and this has happened to me personally, that's why people sometimes have dreams about things, and those things end up happening. I got 10 more minutes, so I'll tell you guys a quick story. I had a dream, a reoccurring dream, where I would be in my car, and I remember feeling drunk in the dream. Feeling drunk and being in a high-speed police chase in my car. And I remember in the dream veering off the road, rolling the car, and seeing the windshield like break, and seeing like mud and water come in through the windshield. And this dream was something that just kept happening, months apart. Sometimes I think it was at least like 6 months apart. I dreamt the same thing, and it was so real. I would wake up, shaking, and my heart would be pounding from this dream. And after the third time I had that dream, I didn't have that dream anymore for a few years until it actually happened in real life. And so I was in a high-speed pursuit. I had some drinks that night, and I did end up rolling my car, going into a ditch. The windshield, I remember the windshield breaking, the mud and the water coming in through the windshield. And so it came to be. How is this so? I always wondered, how was that even possible? And I believe it was my intuition that was trying to warn me of the possible timeline that I was on. That if I continued down that particular timeline, I was going to end up in that particular situation. A life-changing event for me. But I didn't know about intuition. I didn't care about higher selves or anything like that when I was younger. It wasn't a reality for me. It wasn't part of my reality. And so now I have acquired more knowledge, more experience, more wisdom through the years. I now recognize that, yes, there is an intuition. There is a higher self. There are energy bodies that are there, that are part of you, that are there to guide you down the best possible path. And these energy bodies can assist in the removal of demonic beings, demonic entities, energies that may be in your energy field. These energy bodies are just there waiting for you to give the order, waiting for you to realize who you are and what potential you have. They don't interfere with your experience. They don't interfere with your free will. They're there to kind of give you gut feelings, kind of there to guide you in dreams, kind of there to just give you a little taste of what's to come, for you to make the necessary corrections, to make the necessary changes, to go down a different timeline. These beings are also there to help us to heal, help us discover ourselves, discover our origin, discover our true nature. We're all, like I said, light beings. And light beings are so much more powerful than any demon, than any entity, than any Satan or whatever you may call it. They are so much more powerful. And all we have to do is connect within ourselves to our energy bodies and be able to gain the necessary tools to be able to overcome all these dark entities. I've been sharing a lot of videos lately on the channel, the Paranormal Matrix. If you haven't joined, feel free to do so. There's a lot of good videos on there, a lot of good information. Some of these videos are poltergeist related. So one of the last ones I shared was a young lady was just, minding her business, doing something, when you can see something clearly like invisible, grab her leg and pull her down like the hall and like try to like pick her up. And this is the second video that I've seen like that. I'm always very skeptical of videos. I'm always very skeptical, but these videos have been pretty convincing to me, to tell you the truth. And if it was just from time to time, one video here, one video there, but paranormal videos are abundant. There's millions of them out there. And so I don't think that they're all hoaxes. I don't think that they're all fake. I think that maybe a portion of them are. And I try to use my discernment and my intuition to not share not share the ones that I feel like they may be like photoshopped or hoaxed and things like that. But yeah, feel free to share in the group. Feel free to post and comment and send me a message if you'd like to participate in next week's live stream. Like I said, it'll be every Friday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 hour of paranormal talk. This is the Witching Hour, and my name is Hector, Incarnated Spirit. You can find me on Facebook. Also starting a TikTok account, by the name of Hector, Incarnated Spirit. So I don't have many videos on there, but I will be uploading more videos of some of the work that I do and some of paranormal stuff that I've come across the internet that I think it's worth sharing. Anyways, like I said, if anybody has any questions, feel free to contact me, and I thank you for being part of this hour, this witching hour. And so hope to see you next week, Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And like I said, if you know anybody that has a paranormal story, a scary story that they've experienced, or we might even open up the lines to people who just want to share stories that they've heard from friends. I think at this point we can open up the lines for that as well. And so yeah, next week, same time, same place. Hope to see you here, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you.